everyone, welcome back. Today's video is about this beautiful fiery red Cattlianthe little Hazel. This is a sympodial epiphyte orchid hybrid. That is a miniature orchid with small flowers and pseudobulbs, perfect for a limited space on a windowsill. The blooms are small, measuring about 4 cm across. However, this orchid is a cluster bloomer. That means that it can produce up to 7 flowers per inflorescence. Can you even imagine the display you are going to have when a specimen size is flowering? If you can't, just see this picture. The fiery red blooms are very showy and make this orchid very desirable for each orchid collector. There are not too many perfectly red orchids out there on the market, but this one it is, and if you look at the blooms when the sun shines into the blooms, you start to see millions of sparkles. Very pretty and girlish color. I must confess, red is my favorite color, and I would wear a red dress any time at the party. The lip is red with a yellow-orangish coloration inside the throat, on top of which are some lovely red stripes that creates a great contrast, being surrounded by red frilly margins, making these blooms quite elegant. The sepals are narrow and elongated, while the petals are broader. The lip is quite small and thin, and the flowers have a compact look. The blooms have no fragrance, but I think this is not a major letdown. I like to have in my collection some mini non-fragrant Cattleyas, just to place them on my desk to enjoy them, without the worry that I will lose the fragrance, because there is not enough light. I can't lose something that I have never had, right? And this kind of orchid is just perfect for this. This orchid produces short pseudobulbs, about 5 cm in height, that are no more than ½ cm in thickness. This is a bifoliate Cattleya, having 2 leaves that measure about 10 cm in length and 4 cm in width. I know, it's crazy, this orchid has longer leaves than its pseudobulbs. Funny little orchid, huh? Unlike many Cattleya hybrids, the Cattlianthe little Hazel doesn't need that much sun to bloom. It will gain right away the pinkish tinges to the leaves and pseudobulbs, advertising you she can take higher light. The leaves and pseudobulbs can burn easy. This orchid requires intermediate to bright light to bloom. Let's say about 2000 foot candles. It can bloom at any time of the year from the newly produced pseudobulbs. The roots are thin and healthy roots are white. When in active growth, they have bright green tips. New growths usually appear at the base of the cane that has just finished flowering and take about 5 months to mature. This orchid usually produces a sheath from which the spike emerges. The sheath is green when the buds start to appear. Propagation of this orchid can be done through division. Each division should have at least 3 fully grown pseudobulbs for a fast growth further on. She feels comfortable in an intermediate to warm environment, so about 15 Celsius in the night and about 26 Celsius in the day would be perfect. As all Cattleyas, this orchid is tolerant to low humidity, so you won't have wrinkled leaves or dropping buds or blooms. She will be happy with an over 30% humidity, but I have discovered that when exposed to higher humidity, the roots can start to branch out. I like to water my orchids with tap water and fertilize them with distilled water every other watering. My fertilizer is a 2510 NPK, and the source of the nitrogen is only nitrate and ammonium, and you should stay away from the ones that have urea that can harm orchid roots. I like to use for my Cattleyas a fertilized water that contains about 300 to 350 ppm. Also, before I apply fertilizer, I first flush out truly the pots. This is a gorgeous showy fiery red miniature Cattleya, a great space saver suited for small windowsill, not fussy, that blooms easily. Hope you can also get your hands on one of these rewarding beauties. I will add an info card on the right corner of the screen with the video from the RHS London Orchid Show from which I bought her, from Chantel Orchids. Thank you for watching. If you have liked this video and you found it useful, hit that like button below and subscribe to my channel because I post new orchid videos every single Monday and Friday. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.